Scorpio, welcome to your reading for the week of January 9th to the 15th. Let's get started and see what messages we have for Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Keeping in mind these are general readings and may not resonate for everyone. So make sure to check out your other placements because you could have messages in those readings as well, which will offer you a more complete picture. Okay, my friends, let's get started for Scorpio. What is the energy of the week ahead for Scorpio? Sun, Moon, and Rising positions. Change in the wind with flexible. I guess if there's going to be changes in the wind, you got to be flexible, Scorpio. Soulmates. Ooh. And the Observer card. Okay, interesting. And bottom of the deck is Community. So let's put these in the order they fell out. There we go. All right, all in the upright too. So Scorpio, what I can see here is there are some changes happening around you, might be out of your control. So these are not changes that you necessarily initiate, but your response to these changes, you are really being guided to be flexible as you respond to these changes that are happening so that you can look at things from a different perspective. Because man, there's a soulmate situation brewing here. So for some of you, this is someone that you're meeting. For some of you, this is someone in your life already that you start to see in a different way with that Observer card. Or perhaps this is a sort of an individual that you are aware of and have long suspected they could be a soulmate, and now they suddenly appear in your life through circumstances outside of your control. This could be someone returning to your life or just showing up for the first time. It's very interesting. It'll be different depending on who's listening and whether or not it resonates, but it kind of feels like for some of you, this is someone who's already part of your people. Like this is someone in a community that you're already associated with. So it's a tribe or a group of people that you already are aware of, and lo and behold, there is someone in that community that is a soulmate connection for you. Now that could be a romantic connection, or it could just be a fated relationship, like a soul contract, where there is an agreement between you to do stuff together here in this lifetime. Sometimes it can be romantic stuff. Not always, though. It can be that you're just going to meet someone who's going to play a pivotal role in your life, and they could be coming back. They might have been in your life already, and now they're making a reappearance. Or it could be a new person for you. But whatever it is, or however I should say this happens, you are being guided to be flexible. That is for sure. To not have a concrete idea in your mind about this. This is the card that's actually making me feel like you know who this person is already. And that you might see them already as one way. Like, that's this person. I got their number. And then, you see this Observer card, which is sort of making me think, well, maybe you don't got their number anymore. Like, things happen, people change. Perhaps you don't know them as well as you think, or perhaps things have changed. You're really being guided to look at it from a higher perspective and to sort of observe without judgment, to sort of see what happens here. Allow this to happen. This change is coming from outside of your control. And so it's almost like when I see soulmates and a change in the wind, I can't help but think this is somehow written. This is a fated moment. This is written. This is destiny. This is someone who has a contract to be in your life right now. And so there's something cooking here. There's some work that you guys have to get done together. So try to be flexible and not too rigid in your thinking when this person shows up, because it feels like they could have a real purpose to show up right now and that it's outside of your control. So very interesting. This is the kind of reading that is kind of fascinating to me to see, because it's just very direct. It's super direct. Be flexible, because something is about to shift when it comes to a connection with someone. And you're being guided to look at it from a different perspective, a higher perspective, and that this person could already be part of the same community as you. Let's jump into the tarot cards and see if we can get some more clarity here. Change in the wind. This is happening outside of your control. There's the Eight of Wands. It's happening fast. This is happening. This could happen this week. This person could show up this week. This is your green light to say, hey, you know, like some interpretations of this card suggest that these are Cupid's arrows. And so they move quickly, directly, and on target. So something is landing on your doorstep this week. Something is shifting towards you this week. And you're being guided to be flexible and see this as something, you know, that's happening today, instead of sort of adding any sort of layers from the past to it. And I say that because of this Four of Pentacles. So you could be dealing with a Capricorn. That's possible. This card is Capricorn energy. That Eight of Wands is Sagittarius energy. So, you know, don't get too hung up on the signs, but I like to mention them sometimes. So this Four of Pentacles tells me that you know, when this shows up, be flexible. Don't hang on to stuff from the past. Allow this to be like a new experience, because I feel like this person's coming back into your life, or coming into your life. You know, as I look on the bottom of the deck, we see the Six of Cups. They might be coming back to make amends. They might be coming back because they have realized something and they want to share it with you, or they want to sort of have another chance with you when I see the Six of Cups. So have another look at this from a different perspective, okay? Very interesting. Observer. Let's have a look at that card. Looking at things from a higher and different perspective. King of Wands is a visionary. King of Wands is got this energy that says, I'm confident and I'm a visionary. I can see things from a different angle than others because I've got that strength, you know, and that King of Wands is Leo energy. So it's interesting. That King of Wands is making me feel like you're being guided to sort of hold that kind of similar vibe when this person arrives. Perhaps that will allow you to see things from a different perspective, just like the King of Wands sees things from different perspectives. Is a visionary, timeless visionary, very passionate, fueled by the heart. This idea of a leader in how you look at things, right? Like you can take the characteristics of the King of Wands and apply them to the card that we're clarifying. And so the observer energy is one where you're looking at things from a different perspective because you can hold a different perspective, and you're a visionary. You can see things in a different way than other people see them. And as you're looking at things, you have a very creative and timeless way of tapping into what's going on. And I feel like that's what's being asked of you when we look at that observer card, to, you know, and to avoid the other characteristics of the King of Wands, to not be too hot-headed, to not be impulsive, to not be so ambitious that you miss something completely. You know what I mean? And so it's interesting. Let's look at that soulmates card. It's funny. Okay, so we're seeing the Six of Wands and the Ace of Wands, and they're both coming out in the reverse. So that tells me that this soulmate energy is someone who you feel like, I don't think you're expecting to hear from this person. I don't think you're expecting a new start with this person. And I feel like there's a lot of external cues validating that for you, where you're sort of seeing in the external landscape that, yeah, it's highly unlikely in your mind, that you will ever hide or hear from this person again. And it could be that you're actually holding some resentment towards them. That might be why you're not expecting to see them, because there's this idea of pessimism, because we also see that with the Ace of Wands in the reverse is very pessimistic. And so it's interesting. Perhaps you and this person weren't able to see eye to eye on something, and it left this feeling, this taste of resentment. You know what I mean? And they didn't acknowledge you, or you didn't acknowledge them. Someone wasn't acknowledged for their feelings or their actions in the past. And now this person makes a comeback and emerges again. And there's a part of you that might feel that resentment make a comeback, and that there was almost this feeling of comparison, or a feeling of like falling from grace, or a feeling of failure around this connection the first time. So something has shifted for sure now, but this is sort of how this soulmate, when you think about them today, you feel very pessimistic about the connection. You feel like it failed. You feel like whatever happened between you left some resentment behind, and you don't feel confident. You have a lot of self-doubt when it comes to this person. That's very interesting. And we see here the Six of Pentacles in reverse, which says that the energy around this connection was a one-way street. Someone was always giving and someone was always taking. So take that how it resonates, whoever was which. Perhaps you both were doing the same thing. Like perhaps, depending on what was going on, it was just a one-way street. It became a highway that was one way. And it wasn't in balance, and you guys weren't in balance with each other. And so there probably was an outcome that led to a separation, but it also led to some resentment and some pessimism, even though you're still part of this same community. There's something you guys have in common. There was a separation that led to, there was a conflict that led to separation between you, and it was out of balance. It didn't feel fair in some ways. It felt like someone was giving and someone was taking. Interesting. Let's clarify that Eight of Wands moving quick on the change in the wind. There's the Lovers. Something is bringing you back to each other. And I love seeing the Lovers here, because it's like someone made a choice internally. And, oh, that's cheesy. I just got a really cheesy sort of message come through that said that someone hasn't finished calling your name. They're still calling your name. And that's what sends out these arrows. And that's what launched this change in the wind, is that someone is still calling out your name. Sorry for the cheesiness, but I got to say it as I feel it. And someone feels like, look, there's the Six of Wands again. They want to talk about this. They want to fix this. They don't like this feeling. When they think about you and this comes up, this feeling of resentment, failure, pessimism, they're like, no. We got to change this up. This can't be like this for much longer. And I feel like it's someone calling your name, because it's a choice card. The Lovers is a card of choice. It's the card to say, I go where I want. I choose to be where I feel vulnerable, and I can be intimate, and I can sort of be naked with someone in the sense of feeling completely safe by being authentic and vulnerable with someone, and making choices around that. And that it's someone who just, they're not done yet. They still love you. They still love you. A lot of cards could have come out. So seeing the Lovers upright says to me that this person is thinking about you. They're calling out your name. They're choosing to send out those 8 arrows, those 8 wands for you again. And that's initiated this big change in the wind. Okay, so for that, interesting. I reshuffled a little bit here to clarify this Four of Pentacles. This is on the flexible card, so you've got to let go of the past. And we're seeing here that you could be missing signs that it's important to focus on the now. With these 2 cards. The Page of Cups in reverse always makes me think, like, what signs are you missing? What are you not seeing in the energy? Something's already moving towards you, and you're not seeing it. And it could be that you're not seeing it because of that energy of the Four of Cups in reverse, where you're focused on the pessimism. You're focused on that negative outcome. And now it's time to be grateful instead. And there's this gentle nudge, kind of gentle, to not be so focused on the pessimism and to not complain. No more complaining about this person or this connection. It kind of feels like they've been coming up in conversation, or they've been coming up for you emotionally, and you haven't let go of that resentment. You're still holding that resentment that this person, or whatever happened between you and this person, you're still holding that resentment. You haven't let it go. And it might be time to let it go. It really might be time to let it go. Let's look at that King of Rods. I really think this person's making a comeback. It's interesting, or you're focused on it. I do think they're making a comeback. As I say that, the Knight of Pentacles sort of flew out onto the floor. So I feel like right now it's important for you to just be focused on the today. Like, let's say this person shows up in your outer world tomorrow. Then look at it from the eyes of tomorrow. Try not to look at it from the eyes of when things fell apart between you two. Try to look at it from the perspective of the day that, well, this is very interesting. What is this person doing back in my life? And what are the circumstances that have led to this? And can I be flexible in my approach, or am I going to hang on to my resentment and not see that this could be a sign that things have shifted? It's very interesting. It kind of feels like this could happen this week. Feels like you could receive some communication this week. Now look at that. We see the Devil, the Wheel of Fortune, and the Five of Cups in reverse. I can't help but think you could be dealing with a Capricorn. We're seeing the Devil card is Capricorn. Four of Pentacles is Capricorn. You could also be dealing with a Sagittarius. I mean, again, don't get too hung up on the signs. Lovers is Gemini, so it could really be anybody. But it's interesting. This is somebody that you did, like there was a strong hold that you two had on each other at one point. And they may have made you feel powerless and like a failure in the first iteration of your time together. The Devil takes your power. Isn't that interesting that you've got the Lovers and the Devil? Same card, just different energies associated with it. One empowers you, one takes away your power. And so it's interesting. It's like in the past, it felt like powerless. You didn't feel empowered. You felt very pessimistic about what was going on with you guys. Wheel of Fortune moved you away from each other. Someone never really let go. Five of Cups. They had a hard time letting you go. You've got the Four and the Five of Cups here, and the Page of Cups. So very interesting. And that's all coming here on that soulmate card. So that tells me that, you know, you went through a period where you both felt, or one of you felt very powerless. Now the Wheel of Fortune is moving and someone is still like, I'm hung up on Scorpio. I can't stop thinking about Scorpio. And wanting to make a comeback here. What's on the bottom of the deck? Oh my goodness, it's the Ten of Cups. My friends, let this person back in. See how it feels, because this is too good to pass up. So see how it feels. Let this person back in. Your clues are this person has been in your life before. You were part of the same community, and the feelings you hold for them currently have resentment and pessimism associated with it. And that at some point before you parted, there was a feeling of powerlessness. And now there's a sense of loss and regret around it. And so those are your clues on who this person is. They could be lots of signs. You've got so many signs here. I wouldn't even worry about that. But their circumstances coming back to you are out of your control. They're going to show up. And they're part of the same community as you. Whatever that means for whoever's listening. You know, we belong to so many communities as people. We don't think of them as communities all the time. But stop and have a minute here. It should, don't make it fit, but it should resonate pretty quick who this is. That's very interesting. Okay, for Scorpio, let's see what the final guidance is from the Oracle deck for Scorpio on this soulmate situation. Returning, releasing resentment. Oh boy, you got lots. Holy moly, you got lots. Okay. Okay. Interesting. So the first three that fell out together are Summer, Gates, and Shielding. Shielding and Summer are both in reverse. So that tells me that you have a choice here. Are you going to let this person pass through the gate so that you can experience something new with them with the Summer card? Or are you going to have your shields up and say, nope, I don't think so. You're not passing through here. It's your choice. That's interesting. The circumstances of their return to your life are outside of your control, but whether or not you allow them into your life is definitely 1000% within your control. It's up to you. Are you going to shield up, or are you going to let them pass through the gate so that you can experience something renewed with them? When I see that summer card, that makes me feel like the summer is like a time where we are allowing things to sort of almost like we're letting ourselves be in the moment. You know what I mean? Instead of being in the past. This is a time where you can celebrate a new beginning in the summer. Will you celebrate a new beginning with them, or will you have your shields up and say, you're not passing through this gate? Not again. It's going to be up to you. We see sacral chakra and resistance. I love it. Your reading is amazing. So that sacral chakra is sort of the center of your emotions. It's your I feel. It's you being open and wanting to express your emotions, your creativity, your sensuality, your feelings. Seeing resistance in reverse tells me that you're either going to be open or you're going to resist it. It's one or the other. And that's where you have a choice here. And that could be why we're seeing lovers, because ultimately you have to make a choice. I really think this person is highly thinking about you, calling your name, as you will. But it's going to be up to you what you do when they show up. Are you going to let them through the gate? Are you going to express your feelings? Are you going to be resistant towards them? The bottom of this deck, I just want to show you, is authenticity. So I think you've got to be real, right? You got to be authentic. Maybe you've changed since then too. Perhaps you have. I can't help but feel like someone's holding on to a lot of resentment and pessimism when they think about this person. They think about this person and they're instantly like, no. That was awful. What a failing that was. And I have so much resentment towards them for how this all went down. Yeah. Or, you decide, well, that's how I felt in the past, but maybe things have evolved and I'm going to let them come through the gate to see if we can have a new beginning or not. It's very interesting. I'm very excited to see how this all turns out next week. Okay, Scorpio, I'm going to leave it at that. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope this reading has been helpful and resonated for you. If it has, please consider subscribing, liking, sharing, commenting. If you would like a personal reading, we can do that. The link for that is in the description below. And as always, my dear friends, I send you so much love and light, and I look forward to reading for you again very soon. Take care.